Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 2023 November SBIF District Rollout. We'll get started in just a few moments. Just a reminder, though, for everyone on the call today, you will receive a copy of this presentation. Additionally, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to put them in the Q&A chat box on your screen. We'll get started in just a moment. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks again for joining us. My name is Kim Brisky. I am the Director of Communications at Summer Corps. We are the administrator of the SBIF program on behalf of the Department of Planning and Development. Today, we're going to talk about the districts rolling out for SBIF in November of 2023. The copy of this presentation will be emailed to everybody that's on the call today. Additionally, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A chat box on your screen. And without further ado, we'll start off this webinar with a couple of remarks from Nora Curry at DPD. Nora?
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. As Kim said, my name is Nora Curry. I'm the SBIF Program Director for the City of Chicago Department of Planning and Development, or DPD. You will be hearing for most of this presentation from our SBIF Administrator, Summer Corps. And I just want to welcome you to our event today. The Small Business Improvement Fund, known as SBIF, provides grants to small businesses and property owners to make needed improvements to your properties. And over the last few years, we've made a lot of exciting changes to the SBIF program, including increasing the grants available to you and adding over $100 million available to the program citywide. And in addition to the available funding, SBIF offers a lot of technical assistance from Summer Corps and from your local delegate agencies, the Chambers of Commerce and Local Industrial Retention Initiative, or LERI groups, that may have told you about this event today. When you submit your application, you'll be assigned to a Summer Corps project manager. That person is there to help you through the SBIF project. If you run into any issues that may delay your project, or just any questions that come up, we want to make sure that you are talking to your project manager. They are there to answer your questions. They are there to help you with any bumps you might hit on the road. They may be able to help you solve any problems. We do find sometimes people hit a bump, don't know what to do, might be nervous about calling their project manager, but don't do that. We have seen a lot in the 25 years of this program, and we can help you through a lot of things, including things like a permit getting held up or something with your contractor, or just a question you have about how the program works. We're here to help you, so please take advantage of Summer Corps' resources and give us a call. It's better to ask the question than to miss out on the resource. We really want you to take advantage of the program. So with that, I am going to come back and let Latanya take over and tell you all about the program. And thank you again for coming. We look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Nora. Again, my name is Latanya Jones. I am the Deputy Program Director of the SBIF program here at Summer Corps. Thank you again for joining us today. Let's get started with today's presentation. So today we'll be discussing the eligibility requirements of the program and what you can expect going through the process. Here is an overview of what we will be discussing today during the presentation. We will explain what the SBIF program is about, how you can determine if your business or property is located in a SBIF district, which districts are open and on deck, the program rules, how you can go about applying, and what does the program timeline look like, what resources are available to help, provide you with information on the November rollout, along with an example project, cover the frequently asked questions, and conclude with an additional Q&A. Since 1999, The SBIF program has helped small businesses and landlords with reimbursable grants to assist with permanent building improvements. Please note that residential projects are not eligible through this program. The SBIF grant uses tax increment financing revenue to reimburse grantees for the pre-approved repair or rehab of their business facilities or adjacent land acquisition. Please note that this grant does not cover working capital or operating expenses. It is specifically used for structural related repairs. Summer Corps is the program administrator contracted by the city's Department of Planning and Development. Grant parameters. Eligible applicants must have a property located in the TIF district where SBIF funds are available, and the district is authorized to accepting applications. Eligible applicants can include landlords of commercial or industrial properties, commercial or industrial business owners who either own or lease their place of business. Tenants are eligible to apply with the prior written approval from the property owners. Startups are eligible, but must provide us with a business plan, and a Chicago business license will be required prior to the final disbursement. In regards to eligibility limits, depending on the requirements you fall within as an applicant, will determine the eligible limits that you may fall within. For a commercial tenant or owner-occupied applicant, the average gross sales must be less than $9 million per year. For a landlord of a commercial or industrial property, the net worth must be less than $9 million. This is cumulative amongst all owners, and each individual must fall under the $500,000 in liquid asset maximum. If one individual exceeds the $500,000 liquidity requirement, your application will not be eligible for the program. For an industrial tenant or owner-occupied applicant, you must have 200 or less full-time employees. Please note that if you own the business and the property, you are subject to both tenant and landlord requirements. The maximum grant amount allowed under SBIF are $250,000 per industrial property, $150,000 per single owner or single tenant of a commercial property or landlord, and $250,000 for a multi-tenant property, with the understanding that each tenant and landlord is eligible to receive a maximum of $75,000 each. Please note that the applicant may receive one or more grants up to the maximum program assistance. Once the maximum is reached, the applicant will have to wait 3 years before reapplying. The percentage of eligible project costs can be reimbursed if your business sales or net worth falls between 0 and 3 million. You will be eligible to receive 90% reimbursement of the eligible costs. If the average sales fall within 3 to 6 million, you would be eligible to receive 60% reimbursement. If the sales fall within 6 to 9 million, you will be eligible to receive 30% reimbursement. And for all industrial projects, you are eligible to receive 50% reimbursement of the eligible costs. To help you better understand the calculations of this program, here is a SBIF grant calculation example. Grace submits an application for a SBIF grant in an open district with a total eligible project cost of $100,000. She is proposing to make permanent building improvements to her existing retail shop, for which she is the tenant. Grace has been in business for 5 years, and over the last 3 years, her gross sales averaged at 1.5 million. The breakdown of the eligible costs is as follows. The total eligible project cost is at $100,000. Since she is a commercial tenant applicant and her gross sales is under 3 million, she is eligible to receive a 90% reimbursement. That's with the understanding that the city's responsibility is at 90%, which will total 90,000, and the applicant's responsibility is at 10%, which totals 10,000. In order to determine if your business or property is located in a SBIF district, please visit our website at summercore.com/SBIF for assistance. Once you get to our website, you will scroll down to where you see Get Started and select number 1. This will take you to the SBIF Locator tool, where you can enter your property address at the top. Once you enter your address, it will let you know if your property is eligible, provide you with the name of the SBIF district of where your property is located, and when that district is scheduled to open for new applications. It would also provide you with a list of local delegate agencies in your area that can assist you. Eligible SBIF districts in Chicago span across neighborhoods on the north, south, and west sides. Each month marks a new 30-day period in which SBIF districts with available funds open for new applications. Notice of districts opening are provided to the relevant aldermen, posted on DPD and Summer Corps websites, and included in the monthly SBIFgram. Please visit our website at summercore.com/SBIF to obtain a list of the upcoming districts opening. By selecting number 2, where it says check which districts are open, that link will take you to the list of the most up-to-date list of open and on-deck SBIF districts. Which business and organization types are ineligible to apply? This will consist of chains, franchises, branch banks, pawn shops, liquor stores, nightclubs, adult uses, places of worship, junkyards, cigar and smoke shops, non-for-profit social clubs, organizations that have a national affiliation or similar uses. Please note that this is not a comprehensive list, but just to give you an idea of what type of businesses that would not be eligible. If you are unclear about your business type, please feel free to reach out to us. What type of improvements are eligible for the SBIF funding? This would include roofing and facade improvements, components of the signage and awning, which are permanently affixed to the building, ADA compliant improvements such as railings and or ramps, HVAC and other mechanical systems, plumbing and electrical work, certain project-related architectural and construction management fees as they are related to the SBIF project, certain environmental remediation measures, permanent interior renovations, including fixtures, and purchase of adjacent land parcels for the purpose of expanding the business or for parking. Please note that this is not a comprehensive list, but just to give you an idea of what improvements can be covered under this program, And if you are unsure of these type of work items that you're looking for your project, please feel free to reach out to us. What improvement costs are ineligible for SBIF funding? This would include new construction, standalone minor repairs or cosmetic improvements, equipment-related expenses such as kitchen appliance, computers, office furniture, planters surrounding or affixed to the building, outdoor dining or drinking areas, including roof decks, beer gardens, outdoor patios, balconies, awnings, porches, or decks, fencings, pergolas, privacy screens, and similar structures, parking lot construction or repairs, landscaping, or interior work for residential units. What are the SBIF design requirements? In order to receive funding, projects must conform to the design requirements, including meeting DPD's design guidelines. This information can be found on our website. Projects shall also comply with the design guidelines and additional neighborhood requirements as described in guidelines, style guides, community plans, and other planning documents associated with the TIF area and neighborhood in which the property is located. Applicants are strongly advised to consult with Summer Corps and design professionals to design requirements and guidelines before drawing up any plans for the work. All applicants for commercial properties who are approved for a grant of $25,000 or more shall be required to make at least one exterior improvement using at least 10% of the maximum amount of their approved grant, including but not limited to facade repairs, windows and doors, and other exterior improvements eligible subject to DPD's approval. This requirement can be waived at DPD's sole discretion if the applicant can demonstrate to DPD's satisfaction that no exterior improvements are needed because the improvements have been recently completed or the exterior features of the building have been well maintained and are consistent with DPD's design guidelines. What measures are in place to ensure applicants' compliance with the program rules? Checks will be performed on all applicants during the approval stage to ensure they are not indebted to the city, are current on property taxes, and comply with child support laws. If any scofflaw debt or delinquent child support payments cleared with the city of Chicago through a payment plan must be in compliance before any reimbursement will be made for eligible costs incurred. Also, you must be current on property taxes prior to any reimbursement. Each applicant will sign an economic disclosure affidavit. Grantees will be required to sign an affidavit certifying that they will not relocate out of the TIF district or sell the business within a 3-year period following the disbursement of funds. In cases of SBIF reimbursement for land purchase, proof of land ownership will be required before reimbursement may be made. How do I apply? You can download a copy of the SBIF application from our website at summercorps.com/SBIF. To apply, you must complete the application and submit via email to spiff@summercorps.com within the designated open period. Once you get to our website, you can click the white link here, which will take you to the PDF version of the application, where you can complete the application by hand, or you can type in your information. What is the program timeline? In the first stage, you will be given 20 days to provide the requested information needed to complete your application to determine eligibility. Once you are deemed eligible, you will move into stage 2, where you would have 120 days to provide us with the plans, bids, and specs of your project and cure any city debt. If you are aware of any city debt, please ensure to take care of it as soon as you can. Please note that stage 1 and 2 must be completed before final review and project approval by DPD. If approved, you will receive your conditional commitment letter signaling you are able to begin construction. Once you begin construction, you will be moved into stage 3, where you will be given up to 10 months to complete your project. Proof of permit or submitted permit application, which is concurrent with the 10-month construction phase, must be submitted within 120 days following the date of the conditional commitment letter. Also, the applicant must provide proof of sufficient funds to complete the project, which is also concurrent to the 10 months and must be submitted within 120 days following the date of the conditional commitment letter. The applicant must prove they currently have sufficient equity to complete the project by providing at least 50% of the funds needed to cover the total project costs. Once the project is completed, you will be moved into stage 4, which usually takes about 4 to 6 weeks from when your reimbursement request is sent over to the city for processing. We will inform you of when your funds are available and provide you with closing documents to complete. Unless DPD has granted extension of time, applicants who do not complete each stage with the required phase time limit will be disqualified. A maximum of 2 extensions may be granted with DPD's approval in the case of an unavoidable delay due to an extraordinary circumstances. DPD, not Summer Corps, also may on a case-by-case basis grant eligible application an additional amount of time to complete any program requirements. In such case, DPD shall have discretion to determine the appropriate length of that extension. What is required to deem a project completed and receive grant funds? Once the project is completed, you will be required to provide Summer Corps with proof of payment documents for review, which will consist of sworn statements, invoices, copy of canceled checks, and final waiver of liens. Summer Corps will complete a final site visit to confirm that the project is completed, and you are required to provide copies of the building permits. Then that information is submitted to the city for processing, which takes about 4 to 6 weeks, and the grant payment will be received by check. What resources are available to help? You can visit our website to access resources that would help you through the SBIF program. We have a list of resources that include lenders, contractors, technical assistant providers, and small business resources that can be used as a tool to help. Please get to know your delegate agencies. These organizations are assigned to assist small business owners in the SBIF districts opening this month. You may be familiar with these organizations. If not, please reach out to them, introduce yourself, and let them know your plans with the SBIF program, and they will assist you accordingly. As a reminder, please be advised that this presentation will be emailed to those who have attended today. For the November open SBIF districts, we are accepting applications starting today until November 30th at 5 p.m. The districts that are open for new applications are Avalon Park and South Shore, Bryn Mawr Broadway, Galewood Armitage, Lawrence and Pulaski, and the Pilsen Industrial Corridor. Please be advised, applications for these areas will not be accepted after 5 p.m. on December 1st. No, sorry, after November 30th, sorry. When you send us your application via email, please allow 2 business days for Summer Corps to confirm receipt of your application via an email response. If you do not receive an email confirmation within 2 business days, please send a follow-up message or call us at 312-360-3300. Also, the applicants are responsible for making sure submissions are received within the open acceptance period. Here is a sample project that was completed by Phoenix Bean LLC, located at 5410 North Broadway within the Bryn Mawr Broadway TIF district. As you can see, the applicant completed a lot of improvements to the property. This work included new roofing systems, storefront improvements, interior renovations, electrical upgrades, fire suppression system, and architectural services. What additional documents should I have in hand to submit along with my SBIF application? Here is a list of the documents that will be requested from you in order to complete your application. Please note that these documents are not required for submission with your initial application form. We want to give you an idea of the required documents we will request from you pending the type of applicant you are. This would include business tax returns, proof of ownership, economic disclosure statement, personal financial statement, affidavit of child support, principal profile form, jobs created retained survey. For startups, we will need a detailed business plan along with a 3-year projected income and expenses, executed lease agreement, an affidavit and certification of the property owner, an affidavit of full-time equivalent employees, and a copy of tenant leases. What are the financial requirements to participate in the SBIF program? The SBIF program is a reimbursable grant, so project participants should be prepared with financing to support the permanent building improvements. Proof of financing is not required until stage 3. but applicants are encouraged to contact their business lender or reach out to one of the lenders listed on Summer Corps' website in a timely manner. Grantees may choose to complete their project in phases rather than requiring 100% of the upfront costs of the project. Applicants will receive an approval for the full scope of work, and construction will be completed based on necessity and contractor's recommendation. The phase disbursement will be based on progress or completion of eligible construction work. For example, an applicant approved to complete a roof tear-off, HVAC system upgrades, and the installation of a new storefront under one application can be completed in phases. Once the roof improvements are completed and proper paperwork is submitted, the applicant can be reimbursed for that work, and those funds can be used to address the HVAC upgrades. And then repeat the process to being reimbursed for that and use those funds for the storefront upgrades. Are startups or new businesses eligible? Yes, most startups are eligible to apply. Startup applicants will need to supply a detailed business plan and projections of the business income and expenses for its first 3 years of operation as part of their application materials. The City of Chicago reserves the right to impose additional conditions for funding in connection with startup business applications. If you are only in business for 1 to 2 years, Summer Corps requires tax returns and a projection of gross sales to equal 3 years of data. Please note that bars, taverns, hotels, and motel applicants must have an applicable license and been in business for at least 1 calendar year. Am I eligible if I live outside of Chicago? The important consideration is where you have your business or project property. To participate in SBIF, your property must be located in the City of Chicago, as funding sources comes from the City of Chicago property taxes. If you live in another area, please call your city's planning, economic development, or community development department to see if there's other programs available that can assist small businesses. What if my building has both businesses and residential spaces? This program is primarily for business use, but there are mixed-use exceptions. For these buildings, many envelope projects such as roofing, facade improvements, and tuck pointing are eligible. Will there be enough SBIF funding for all applicants? Each tax increment financing district that has a SBIF program authorized in it has limited funds reserved for the program. If demand for SBIF funds are greater than the available funding supply, then a lottery will be conducted to determine the order in which each application may be accommodated. If any surplus funds become available, they will be accoladed to the waitlist applicants. Applicants for a property located in an Invest Southwest corridor shall be given priority for funding and the lottery. Applicants for property located in a Target corridor shall be second in priority for funding and the lottery. The remaining applicants shall be provided funding if available and placed on the wait list if applicable after applicants in the Invest Southwest corridor and Target corridors. Can SBIF be used with other City of Chicago grant programs. No, they cannot. SBIF cannot be used at the same time as the Neighborhood Opportunity Fund or Chicago Recovery Plan grant on the same property, well, the same project covering the same work. However, you may apply for multiple grants at the same time and select whichever one best fits your project, provided you stay within the grant timeline requirements. Is there SBIF funding available in my district? Every SBIF area has its own budget that the city refills if the TIF funds are available, and if there is a demonstrated need for more grant money. Email the Summer Corps team at spiff@summercorps.com to see if there's funding available in your area. We also maintain an interested party list for funds, which you can also send an email in order to join. When more funding becomes available or the city allocates more funds, we will be able to let you know. The interested party list helps the City of Chicago gauge demand for additional funding. What if I am in a TIF and not in a SBIF? A tax increment financing district, TIF increment financing is the mechanism that funds the SBIF program. If you are in a TIF that does not have a SBIF, please contact your alderman. Here's the contact list for our SBIF department and the program director at the Department of Planning and Development, Nora Curry. This will conclude our SBIF presentation, and thank you everyone for joining us today. And now we can proceed with our Q&A.
Thank you, Latanya. I appreciate it. This is a great opportunity for anybody who is on the call today. If you hadn't had the chance yet to enter in a question in the Q&A box, feel free to enter it now. Just as a reminder, you will receive a copy of this presentation. You can actually also rewatch this entire presentation on DPD's YouTube page after it's posted live. But Latanya, just to start off, do you want to talk about just maybe in general, what are sort of the biggest challenges that SBIF applicants experience when they're getting started with their project?
Sure. So I would definitely say financing is one of the challenging things when it comes to this program. Applicants trying to find the appropriate financing for their project. You know, if they're not able to find one, we do have some listed on our website, or just being able to communicate with their, if they have a relationship with their banker, maybe that's a great place to start. Another one would be contractors and obtaining the necessary estimates. And I would say last but not least, meeting any deadlines, because going through this process, you do have set deadlines, and sometimes applicants they don't communicate with us to let us know what's going on. So just having that open line of communication with us does help us help you if you're, stuck in a certain or have an issue with anything. We can assist you accordingly.
Great. Maybe we can talk about contractors for a moment. Specifically, what contractors can a SBIF applicant use? Can they be their own contractor? Is there a requirement for the contractor of certification? What are the requirements there?
Sure. So if you are looking to, first, you will not be able to act as your own contractor when you're applying for this program. But if you're looking to hire contractors for your project, they will need to be licensed by the City of Chicago and have an active certificate of insurance in order for you to utilize them for your project.
Excellent. Another question, just to be clear, startups, can they be considered for SBIF, and are there any differences and requirements for them?
Startup businesses are eligible. It just depends on when you provide us with like your business plan, just making sure that the type of business that you will operate falls within those eligibility requirements.
Another question that's focused sort of on some landlord applicants potentially is if they are a landlord and have a rental property that they'd like to apply for SBIF, but they don't have a current tenant, are they still eligible to apply?
They are eligible to apply, but they will need to secure a tenant in that space before they can be reimbursed.
Let's see. Again, just in terms of can a startup lease a property and apply for this grant, I think we answered here that yes, startups can apply, and yes, you can be a tenant under a lease, provided that your landlord does give permission ahead of time. Let's see, I'm just looking to see what else. Can you talk a little bit, are there any differences between a nonprofit applying and a for-profit business?
So the only difference is, I guess, is the information that we request from a for-profit business versus the not-for-profit organization. So for a for-profit business, we will look for like their tax returns, but I know sometimes with a not-for-profit, they have tax returns as well as they have, I'm drawing a blank, their income balance sheet is something that we ask of them as well. Though that would usually be the only two separate instances of information that we would ask from them.
Right. We look at their board members as the
Yes.
leadership versus like a company owner, but
That is
essentially
correct.
it's the same. Mhm.
Yes.
I did want to mention, Latanya, just so you know, there's nothing you can do about it, but there are a lot of questions in the chat asking specific addresses. Is this district in a TIF? Is this district in a TIF? So I really want to go back one more time really quick to just how anyone here, or if they didn't have the opportunity today, can go right to our website, summercorps.com/SBIF, and just say, is my business in a TIF? And you're able to enter your address right in. And the results will tell you if you're in a TIF, if it has something open, scheduled to be open, as well as delegate agencies. And if it doesn't show an open date, but you're interested in being added to the wait list to be able to, or the interested party list to be contacted if the area opens, you're welcome to send us an email and we'll add you right to that list. We'll just want to know how, your phone number, email, business name, and the address of the business so that we can add you to our list. Let's see. In terms of if you're a startup, I think they were asking a little bit more detail about what financial documents should they have ready. I think we talked a little bit about projections. Is there anything else specific that a startup business would need?
Yes. So on top of the projections, we will need the detailed business plan that just kind of explains like the operation of the business, like what type of licensing, if there's going to be any other individuals that will have ownership in that business, just to give us an idea so that we would know if we would be able to proceed with that business type.
Got it. I would also recommend to anybody on this call that maybe has a startup business, or maybe you've been in business for a while. Again, on our Summer Corps webpage, we list a lot of resources for small businesses, including technical assistance. There are a lot of really awesome organizations that help with creating business plans and understanding your numbers. And that way they can help you put pen to paper, which really is helpful for you as you are seeking financing. Example would be Allies for Community Business. I know also the City of Chicago does tons of courses through BACP as well, Business Affairs, Consumer Protection. So really think about that if you are in that situation looking for financing and have to make sure those documents are all squared away. I think I don't have anything else new at this time. So I think I'm going to wrap up here. And just as a reminder, anybody on this call today will receive an email copy of this presentation. If you're interested in actually watching a recording of this video, DPD will post it on their YouTube page within the next couple of days, so you'll be able to rewatch it and share with any of your neighbors that maybe were not able to get on the call today and might be interested in accessing SBIF. We really look forward to checking out your projects, and we hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much.
Thank you.